At Bad Blood 2024 in Atlanta, Georgia, the main event saw the very odd, very uneasy alliance of WWE Universal Champion Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns temporarily forming a two-man mega power trip to defeat the new, not so well received or respected Bloodline, led by the usurper Solo Sikoa and big breakout superstar Jacob Fatu. The return of Jimmy Uso, who was kicked out of Solo's new Bloodline, wasn't even the biggest deal in the match, even though it was a deciding factor in who would win. When all was said and done, the final boss. If you smell la 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 la. What The Rock is doing with a brief yet eventful appearance at the end of the show. He didn't do much. He simply lifted one finger, then two fingers, then three fingers, a subtle sign of what could be coming, which is not exactly 100% clear. The only other insight we got was his rambling promo on Instagram Live after the event, after the show went off the air, half of which was sort of inaudible as he decided to have background music from ZZ Top playing around. Yeah, he may be a sharp-dressed man, but turn down the rock music, let's turn up the rock. But what was clear from that promo was the fact that he has been a silent but seething angry observer of how things have played out since WrestleMania 40, where Roman was humbled by Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline's plan to keep Roman in power kind of fell apart. Yeah, in the last few months, The Rock has been watching and he isn't happy. The final boss, the most popular movie star in the world, who is on the WWE Executive Board, is obviously referring to the internal conflict within the Bloodline, the Samoan faction, which, of course, he lays a deep-rooted membership. And the takeover on active week-to-week television by the usurper we mentioned earlier, Solo Sikoa, and the new recruits he's seen take up the ranks. But we don't know exactly who he's siding with exactly, who he's against, and what his intentions are. But behind all of this is the master plan of WWE's Chief Content Officer Triple H and his creative team, and what they seemingly have in place. A plan that is set to culminate likely in Sin City, Las Vegas next April at WrestleMania. This is Sportskeeda Wrestling, and this may be Triple H's master plan for The Rock, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. What do you think is going to happen for all these big players in the months ahead leading to WrestleMania? This is where you get into the comments and tell us what you think is going to happen. Come on, go ahead. I'll wait. I will raise my eyebrow and wait and look at you.
You think you know all the wrestling stories? There's more you haven't heard yet. Join us on Backstage Pass.
When it was revealed that the tag team match with Roman and Cody versus Solo and Jacob Fatu would headline the Bad Blood event instead of the much built-to Hell in a Cell grudge match between longtime bitter enemies CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, it was a little obvious that there was something else major being planned for a post-match angle, and the reports would line up for that the day of the show. Sure, Jimmy Uso was a fantastic addition, makes all the sense with the Bloodline storyline and him siding with a now good guy Roman Reigns, but The Rock's presence was always going to warrant a major position. Yeah, it's The Rock, whether you like it or not. Yeah, he's still The Rock. Before we go ahead, let's jump back half a year to Raw after WrestleMania 40. Cody Rhodes, the newly crowned, yes, much beloved, undisputed WWE champion, was confronted by the People's Champion, or at least he calls himself that still, The Rock. He was pretty frustrated with how things went down on night 2 of WrestleMania. Just 2 nights prior at WrestleMania Saturday, The Rock pinned Cody in their tag team match, also involving Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. And The Rock let Cody know all about it. It seemed like The Rock really took a liking to Cody backstage because he compared him to one of the greatest heroes in American cinema, Luke Skywalker of Star Wars. Yes, the Force is strong in you, Cody. If you're a Star Wars fan, you know that Luke Skywalker is the ultimate good guy. Following Roman's failure to retain the title at WrestleMania 40 and defend the tribe's honor of the Bloodline, yes, Some people thought that this would parlay into Rock versus Roman, which had been talked about years prior. But now the Great One seemed interested in facing Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41, hypothetically, in 2025. The segment on that Raw after WrestleMania seemed to signal that we were going to get Rock versus Cody at some point. The Rock told Cody that whether he was the WWE champion or not, they would meet again once he returned. A still unknown at this time object was placed in Cody's hand by the Great One, which we assume will play into the story down the line. What did he put in his hand? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, The Rock said although Cody Rhodes' story with Roman Reigns was over, their story was just beginning. It's not uncommon for WWE to tease next year's WrestleMania a full year in advance, but as we know, in this modern age with so much WWE coming out and so many fan opinions collectively changing over time, it's just a circumstantial thing where the parts move around. I mean, heck, just look at the WrestleMania 40 behind-the-scenes documentary on YouTube. So much changed in the lead-up to WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. You'll see just how last-minute and chaotic everything was for WWE after The Rock began receiving fan backlash, thinking he was just going to get his Rock versus Roman match, even though Cody won the Royal Rumble and won the rights to have the big rematch against Roman. So, yeah, all of those things, or something similar to it, is still in play here. So obviously all those things are still in play. Circumstances can always change, but here's what we think, hypothetically, speculatively, could be Triple H and his team's big master plan for WrestleMania 41 in Vegas. What is the main event? How are all of these three big names going to come together? Our friends who are always scooping the big wrestling news backstage, WrestleVotes, put out a very interesting tweet on Twitter. Yes, I'm still calling it Twitter. Simply tweeting out saying 1, 2, 3, 41. So 1, 2, 3, 41. Think of what The Rock did when he appeared at the end of Bad Blood. It seems like WWE could possibly have a triple threat match planned for the main event of WrestleMania 41 in some form, featuring The Rock, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes. Now, we're not going to go into too much of whether this is the right decision or not. Yeah, we can let you jump on that one in the comments as well. It all depends on the story that's being told and how things unfold in the next few months. Sure, we hear some of you, even in our own team over here, claiming that Jacob Fatu, who has wrestled on TV, a dozen or so times by this point, and just recently main evented his first PLE, that he somehow should be in the WrestleMania main event mix. But this is WrestleMania. He is a superstar, but his superstar status may not be main event just yet. He's playing a great supporting role, and he will certainly have a spotlight in some form on the show of shows weekend in Las Vegas. Don't worry, he will be able to go all Samoan werewolf on someone. Heck, Jacob Fatu could be that gatekeeping character to get Cody or Roman WrestleMania ready before we get to April. But sorry for all of those who want and are clamoring for some illogical table flip booking of Jacob Fatu in a WrestleMania main event on night 1 or night 2. Right now, that doesn't seem like it is happening, but he will play a supporting role, probably along with Solo Sikoa in some form. Still, WWE wants another major match to headline a show that people have astronomical expectations with in WrestleMania 41. Plus, you have 2 nights to play with here. Maybe Saturday is the best way to get the biggest stars in the industry in one ring without having to repeat the exact scenario of WrestleMania 40, so Roman versus Cody. When do we do that? Yes, there's a lot more questions coming up here than answers, but fun questions to ask. But from the look of things, this is WWE's idea of the biggest possible blockbuster match. How about they go about it in a version that is yet to be seen? Right now, maybe Roman or The Rock are not the winners for the Royal Rumble match, which usually sets up a major challenger for one of the world titles at WrestleMania. Maybe the winner of the big match in Indianapolis, yes, the multi-man affair, is someone who challenges for the World Heavyweight Championship instead on Raw. This would give WWE more flexibility, more time to build, especially with part-time players in The Rock and Roman Reigns, and give you more time to develop what you're going to do with Cody to get to Las Vegas. The Rock technically is Cody Rhodes' boss and a board member of the TKO. This allows him more flexibility to be more distant from Cody and be, oh, guess what, a villain. Yeah, you're not supposed to like him, and he makes it easy not to like him. So it wouldn't take much time for WWE to get this inserted, but the fact that you don't always have Rock available allows you to do that if he's not the man winning the Royal Rumble. We wouldn't be surprised if WWE teases going in the direction of Roman versus Cody 3, and if it hasn't happened already by then, only the final boss can hijack things, and this time the storyline would put himself in the main event of WrestleMania 41. He can be that evil, and he has the power to do so. And if it isn't a triple threat, is there another way to thread the needle for WWE as they did at WrestleMania 40? Maybe a Night 1 scenario with Cody versus Roman, with The Rock waiting to face the winner of that match on Night 2. Or this would follow up Night 1 and Night 2 at WrestleMania 40 being interconnected with consequential means, threading the two major streaming stadium events together for people watching around the world and people watching in the arena as well. No matter what, The Rock is laying the smackdown on someone, lending his undeniable star power as one of the most popular human beings on the planet Earth to the WrestleMania marquee. And we think it's a safe bet to say that The Rock is going to wrestle a match at WrestleMania. Yeah, not just hosting, not just a only cameo type thing. No, it's a real shocker. The Rock is going to have a match at WrestleMania. Also, what's to say that Rock, Roman, and Cody have blocked off all the main event spots for Mania over 2 nights in 2025. Maybe WWE has another major match with a different storyline pinned for WrestleMania Saturday or Sunday, like CM Punk and Seth Rollins, or maybe another serious feud that would possibly allow Punk to get that long sought-after WrestleMania main event dream fulfilled, while also satisfying the 3 biggest names in the industry. Obviously, there's a lot more time before we even get to the road to WrestleMania. But as we look ahead, there's a lot of twists and turns that can happen in the coming months. So who knows? It's all just speculation. Before we even ever really get on that road to Mania, by the way, Cody has to defend himself on another front with an impending issue with Kevin Owens, who turned heel on him outside of Cody's tour bus in Atlanta right after Bad Blood, attacking him physically in front of fans. A unique way to spread the storyline through social media, with all the fans basically capturing it on the internet in fan-recorded videos. It's a different time, and WWE's telling different stories based on what the people want. Then there's the impending Bloodline Civil War match that's likely going to happen at Survivor Series War Games, like we've all been collectively fantasy booking for months now. Before that, Cody's going to have a champion versus champion match at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia, yes. And we don't even want to talk about that just yet. The point we're getting at here is there is a lot in place for the American Nightmare right now. It is Cody Rhodes versus the world. And it seems like after a stop-and-start run with the WWE Championship in the spring, things have finally started to pick up with him. The dots are truly connecting for Cody to make this matter again. As if it didn't matter before, it just matters a whole lot more than it did before. With Roman Reigns becoming a semi-regular fixture on WWE television once again, you can bet that the quality of programming is about to pick up. He is truly a magnetic force for storylines in WWE, so while there's a lot of us who have our opinions on what's right and what's wrong, yeah, and what we're entitled to, I'm entitled to it. I'm a fan and I have a voice on the internet. We want to hear from you, but don't take yourself too seriously. We would advise everyone sit back and enjoy the ride, because big things are coming if you smell what we're cooking. See what I did there? Because I used The Rock's catchphrase. Yeah? Did you like that? Get into the comments. Let us know what you think is going to happen with WrestleMania and all the names we mentioned. Plus, check out these other great videos from Sportskeeda Wrestling.